Hello, my name is Monique Singletary. I'm an organizer with the Vermont Coalition for Palestinian Liberation, and this is a press conference for the Vermont Coalition for Palestinian Liberation in defense of democracy and in support of the apartheid-free resolution in Burlington. First up in this press conference, we have Wafiq Faour, who is an organizer in Vermonters for Justice in Palestine.
Thank you for coming. My name is Wafiq Faour. I'm a member of Vermont for Justice in Palestine and member of the coalition. We're coming here to tell our public here in Burlington especially and in the state of Vermont that we collected over 1,660 verified signatures to put this ballot for a vote on March 5th, and we are hoping that democracy is still working in city of Burlington, and we are here mostly not to discuss the ballot and the elements on the ballot, but to defend democracy and to make sure that when our charter here on city of Burlington guarantee us that if we sign a ballot, it will be there. We are a collective of many organizations, but at the same time, the signatures we collected are from independents, from Republicans, from Democrats, from progressive, and all walk of life. We have signatures from black, brown, white, LGBTQA, and disability. So we are talking about a unity of people of Burlington coming with us.
I'd love to introduce Mal Siegel with Jewish Voices for Peace, another member who's a part of this collective.
My name is Mallory Siegel. I am with Jewish Voice for Peace, Vermont and New Hampshire. On behalf of the Chittenden area members of the Jewish Voice for Peace chapter, including our Burlington residents, we call on the Burlington City Council to uphold the very foundation of the democratic process they claim to represent and to allow the apartheid-free community pledge on the ballot. Vermonters for Justice in Palestine has been working diligently for months to get the apartheid-free community pledge on the ballot. Despite following the protocol put forth by City Council and successfully collecting the 5% of signatures needed to put the pledge on the ballot, we are deeply concerned that the Burlington City Council will choose to block the pledge entirely, thereby interrupting our democratic process and preventing Burlington residents from exercising their right to vote on this item. Voting against adding the referendum limits the freedom of speech of Burlington voters. It is anti-democratic.
Our representative and member of the Tempest Collective, we have Helen Scott.
Good evening, everyone. I think what we're seeing at the moment is a very distressing pattern of cancellations of Palestinian events and censorship of criticism of Israel. We're seeing this nationally, and we're also seeing it in our own community. I'm a professor at the University of Vermont. As you may know, this fall, UVM unilaterally cancelled a Palestinian poet, Mohammed El-Kurd, against the wishes of the faculty who sponsored the event. When they did this, they sent a message that Palestinians are not welcome here. They had no good grounds for cancelling the event. They used a very vague, non-specific argument about security concerns. That creates a climate that is hostile and dangerous and unsafe for Palestinians, for Arabs, for Muslims, and for other people of color in our town. I'm worried that we're seeing, or we're dangerously close to seeing, the same pattern unfold again. We have a situation where a wide array of people, Jewish, Christian, Muslim, secular, individuals and groups, came together followed the democratic process to bring a resolution for an apartheid-free Burlington onto the ballot. We followed the democratic process. This is our right. Some people now are opposed to the resolution and they're trying to keep it off the ballot. For us, this is a fundamental question of democracy. When you get the signatures, you bring a position to the ballot, whether it's controversial or not. If somebody disagrees, they can vote against it. That's democracy. That's what we're standing here for. So we're hoping that this evening the council follows democratic due process, brings the resolution to the ballot, and then the people can decide.
Thank you, Helen. And lastly, with the Party for Socialism and Liberation, we have Alex Lawson.
I'm here as a representative of the Party for Socialism and Liberation, a member of the Vermont Coalition for Palestinian Liberation, a Burlington resident, and most importantly, a believer of democracy and justice. It is outrageous that our Burlington City Council is considering unilaterally striking the initiative for apartheid-free communities from the March 5th ballot, after we have collected nearly 1,600 signatures and met every threshold required by the city. This is nearly unprecedented and nakedly anti-democratic, and our City Council seeks to erase the voices of the thousands of Vermonters who have signed the petition and the rest of the residents who have a right to vote on it. If the City Council does not support it, it is their right to vote against it as citizens. It is not their right to obstruct the democratic process. It's now estimated that over 30,000 Palestinians have been killed by the State of Israel since October 7th. Over 100,000 have been maimed, over 500,000 are risking starvation, and over 1.5 million have been displaced after 75 years of displacement, apartheid, and brutal occupation. We are simply putting forth an initiative to divest from funding the state committing these atrocities. What message does it send to Palestinian, Arab, and Muslim members of our community? Over 1,600 signers of the petition, the hundreds that have called or written and spoken to City Council, and the hundreds that have marched with us in the streets for support of Palestinian lives. If the City Council overrides the democratic process by removing the initiative from the ballot, let us not forget that a horrific anti-Palestinian hate crime happened here just 2 months ago. Now our City Council wants to send the message loud and clear that some lives are worth less than others by silencing anyone who opposes Israel's crimes against humanity. We say this is not just an issue of foreign policy, this is a local issue as well. So long as our tax dollars go to fund the State of Israel, we as voters and residents have a right to resist that. We reject all claims that this initiative is rooted in any bigotry or anti-Semitism, or that it is divisive to speak up for the human rights of any person. Our movement spans across age, race, ethnicity, religion, gender. Our cause is just, and the attempts to silence us unilaterally and remove our voices and our votes are cowardice of the highest order. We demand that our City Council does not stand in the way of the democratic process. City Council cannot claim to represent all residents, then unilaterally take actions that undermine that. Whose values does City Council represent? 2/3 of the voters in the U.S. support a ceasefire across party lines. Yet Israel continues to be a third rail that politicians, even at the local level, refuse to touch either because of ideology or expediency. This is moral cowardice, and history will not be kind to those who refuse to speak up for the rights of all people. We demand that the City Council allow Burlingtonians the right to vote on the anti-apartheid ballot item. Burlington has a chance to prove that it is on the right side of history. We ask that our leaders let the people decide. Give the people what we want, join the calls for a ceasefire, and stop funding Israeli apartheid and genocide. Thank you.
And I would open it up for any questions to any of our speakers.
I wanted to ask for whoever's comfortable answering it, should the end result tonight be the one that you aren't looking for? Should City Council strike it down? Do you feel there is anything more you can do after that to get your message out, or is it more or less hopeless if we see a council striking down democratic process?
We expect the end results is the 12 council members to vote to put the ballot as the Burlington Charter requires. Their vote should be formality, and there should be no argument about it. whatever the outcome, we're going to educate the public, and we going to talk about Israel and its policy of apartheid, policy of occupation, policy of genocide, that we see it every day in our screen. Israel have killed almost 30,000 Palestinians. Almost half of them are children. For that, if the American public, they don't think it's a local subject, there is a problem. American taxpayers provide Israel with all the support, militarily, money, weapons, and all kind of aids. And they are responsible of what's happening over there in genocide. So for Vermont and for Burlington, this is very local issue, and we should talk about it.
Thank you, Afiq. Any other questions? Thank you to all of our speakers.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If you're here to fight apartheid, not support it, is go in early and get lined up to speak. Because right now, a lot of the pro-apartheid people are lining up to speak. So we're not going to do the rally. So just get in. You can cut in by either two entrances, the top one or the bottom one. So get in there, line up, get ready to speak truth to power. Yeah. Hey. Everybody get online to speak. We're not going to do the rally. We want everybody lined up to speak. So you can go in through the top door or the bottom door, but line up to speak. Be ready to fight apartheid. Speak out against apartheid. Come line up to speak.
Hi everyone. I'm here for the hearing for the referendum on Palestine, but it also happens to be the third anniversary of the treaty prohibiting nuclear weapons that was created in 2001 to protect us and to get rid of nuclear weapons globally. It's an amazing treaty and people should be more aware of it. And the other event that is happening, we don't have that with us here, is that tomorrow is the anniversary of the doomsday clock, and its time will be reset tomorrow. At the moment, it's 90 seconds from midnight. Midnight means 0 hour, we're all blown up, okay? So tomorrow, we don't know whether the doomsday clock will be moved forward or moving backwards, because things are not looking good on the nuclear front. So we hope everyone will become aware of this event that is today. Thank you.
My name's Ashley Smith. I'm here as part of the Vermont Coalition for Palestinian Liberation. A lot of us have been working really hard to get a referendum on the ballot against apartheid, which the Israeli state practices, systematically oppressing and discriminating against Palestinians inside Israel proper, in the West Bank, in the other occupied territories under siege and under genocide right now, Gaza. So we are very eager for the democracy to be upheld, for this referendum to be placed on the ballot so the people of Burlington can vote on what is an extremely local issue, because nearly $6 million of our tax dollars go to fund Israel annually. We host the F-35, a fighter bomber that the Air Guard uses and is deployed to the Middle East. They're F-35s that Israel has right now. And we have General Dynamics and other corporations which are directly a part of the Israeli war machine, giving them weapons, planes, guns, tanks, you name it. So we are here to take a proud stand against apartheid in Israel and demand that the City Council uphold our democratic right to petition, put things on the ballot, and for the citizens and residents of this town to vote on something that is of great local concern.